Alright guys, hi and welcome to your first flipped classroom. Before we begin, we're going to do lesson 5.3, and you're going to need your math book and your composition book. With your composition book, make sure you're taking any notes that you feel that are super important, maybe things you didn't know, things you did know, okay? When you follow along, make sure you can remember you can pause this at any time. And then if you know these things and you want to skip forward, feel free to do so as well. With some of this stuff, it is review. In fact, I'm looking through this, and most of it, if not all of it, should be review. So this is another one of those assignments like yesterday that I do expect you guys to go, and we are gonna go fairly quickly, and I expect you to know it, so that we can get to some of the more difficult things coming on. If you're struggling with this, make sure you're pausing, taking good notes, and then let's talk tomorrow. If you're ready to rock, then congratulations, awesome. Okay, so we're actually going to start on page 120. We're not going to go through all the diagrams. The diagrams and the models are exactly what we showed you last year, seriously. So we're going to move on, all right? The one piece I like is this example, all right? So when we multiply decimals, you notice here that the decimals are not lined up like when we add and subtract decimals. The decimals, we're stacking this just like a normal multiplication problem. Okay, and the trick, if you guys remember last year, is you want to make these whole numbers. All right. So what I like about this is here's our question. Delia bought 3 8/10 pounds of peppers. The peppers cost $1.99 per pound. What's the total cost? Okay, so $1.99 times the weight, which is 3 8/10. So to turn $1.99 into $199, we need to bring it out 2 decimal places. Okay, and then to make 3 8/10 a decimal or a whole, we got to bring it out 1 decimal place. So we have a total of 3 decimal places that we need to bring back in when we finish this. All right. So we're going to pretend like this is now 199 times 38. Okay, so we do the multiplication of our 8s first, then our 3s. We hold our decimal place, or we hold our place value here with that 0, and we got 7,562. But we remember, hey, we moved 3 decimal places out, so we need to move 3 back in, always from right to left. So 1, 2, 3. Now makes this more like $7.56 because you can't have 562 cents. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. So that's the big piece we want to work on here. So we're actually going to go all the way down here to multiplying your term. And I really like this, man. I wish I could have created this last year for 5th grade. So we're going to talk about each, before we multiply, we're going to pull out each decimal place and identify how many decimal places we need. So when you do this, I'm going to get my computer going here so I can write along with you here. Just 1 second. Okay. So when we identify this, there is 1 decimal place here that we need to pull out to make that 126, and 1 decimal place we need to move it here. If you guys see that. Okay. Questions there? Hopefully not. All right. So then we got a 3-digit by a 3-digit multiplication problem here. So they've already done the 3 for us. We're going to do the 7. I'll give it to you here. I'll be nice today. It's going to be 6,300. Sorry, my fat fingers aren't very good for this tiny little iPad. All right, so that was for the 7. Then we're going to hold our place value, so we're going to have to add 2 zeros. And now we're going to do 3, so we get 1, 2, 6, place value, place value. All right. Then we're going to have to add them all up, which is 1, 9, 2, 7, 8. But we had a total of 2 decimal places that we had to move back in. So past the 8, past the 7, if you guys can see where I'm putting that. See all those little decimals? That's supposed to be my little decimal. My fingers are too fat for this thing. So it is actually 192 and 78 hundredths. All right. So I really like this setup where they have the decimal places, you pull them out, all those different things, and then you can add them up here. So I'm going to let you pause me here in a second, and you're going to do number 4. Identify how many decimal place values you have to pull out, bring them on down here for a total, multiply correctly with your 6 and your 4. Remember, you don't have to do the 0. Add them up, then bring your decimal places back in, and let's compare answers. Pause me now, and you can go. All right, hopefully you're done. You press play, you got an answer, you're ready to compare. All right, so let's see if we got it. So we're going to compare our answers. So I'm going to walk you through pretty quick. There's 2 decimal place values here, 2 here, with a total of 4. 4 total place values that I got to bring back in. Okay, so the first multiplication was 5,856. Second was 39,040. Grand total of, I'm going to write it down here so it's bigger, 4, 8, 9, 6, 1, 2, 3, decimal. Boom. So 4 and 480, 4,896 ten thousandths. Woo! There's a monster for you. All right, so as you can tell, this is a pretty helpful tool. You don't obviously have to do that every time. I do leave myself little notes off to the side, like, oh, okay, 1 here, that's a little 2. I'll put a little 2 up at the top. Okay, you can do it your way. There's no, well, there is a right or a wrong way as long as you get. There isn't a right or wrong way as long as you get the right answer. Okay, so make sure you're just collecting and you're organized. All right. Estimating, I'm not a big estimator, so we're not going to really estimate. So we're going to rock and roll. All right. So the grid we didn't cover, so you don't need to do 1 and you don't need to do 2. The grid's not important to me. I honestly do not care about the grid. Okay. I care about real world solutions. I care about being able to do the math. Okay. The grid is helpful to see it, but it's not a realistic way to solve it. All right. So we're going to focus right here on 3 through 13. Okay. I like 13 because it makes you think a little bit. They're a little odd sometimes. So this one's how can you check the answer to a decimal multiplication problem? Think about this. We talked about how to check answers when dividing. Okay, this is really no different. Okay, so you're going to be in charge of multiplying and doing question 3 through 13 on your own. Okay, so we've had some practice. You can use scratch paper. You can use whiteboards, however you want to do it, but this is an independent thing. You need to do this quietly. Once you have your answers, you need to raise your hand. Okay, then the substitute will come by and check your work. If you have a wrong answer, you need to correct it. Once you've corrected it and you get 100% on this thing, then we're on to the next page. Okay, we're on to this sucker here. This one's a toughie. So I want you to get as far as you can. If you can't, if it's one question, it's one question. If it's the whole page, fantastic. Just keep going because we're going to address them all. You can go all the way through 124. If you can't, don't stress about it because we're going to pick up right where we left off tomorrow. You and I are going to work on these and really focus on these word problems. I expect you to understand the process. Now we're going to dissect these tough word problems, okay? So I do want you to push yourself today. I want you to see how far you can get, but again, I don't want you sitting there stressing, thinking, oh, Kindig's going to give me a bad grade or whatever. I'm not. This is the big vocal point. You're in advanced math. We need to really focus on these tough questions and breaking down word problems, something we're not super great at yet. So here's the math, if you will. We should rock this here easily. But then this is where we really need to focus a lot of our attention this year, is really breaking down word problems, understanding what the question's asking us, how to attack this. So please put a lot of effort into this. Do not rush through this. Do not take this lightly. I want you to work hard on this, okay? When you get to this page I want independent. This page you can work with one other partner, but they have to be done. Okay, so make sure you understand the expectations here and make sure you're ready to discuss these problems. Okay, remember you can back this up if you're still a little confused and go look at the multiplication. But again, this is a skill that's expected to be known already. So again, this isn't a true full-blown lesson. I've been talking for 10 minutes. Okay, so I do expect you guys to understand this, and I expect us to be ready to take this to the next level. Excuse me, which is word problems, and they are difficult. So be ready to rock and roll. And then Thursday when I come in, excuse me, tickle my throat. When I come in, we're going to really hit this home and really focus and spend another day breaking down word problems. Okay? All right. Good luck. Rewind this if you need to. Ask questions for the substitute. But again, you know what needs to be done. Good luck, and I look forward to continuing this lesson tomorrow.